Tonight on KVR News, Austin protesters stand up for Central American women seeking refuge.
Changes are coming to the drag.
And see which music venue is here to stay.
You're watching KVR News, your leader for live, local UT coverage.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening and welcome back to KVR News for Monday, November 9th. I'm Viviana Castañeda.
And I'm Connor Barrick.
President of the University of Missouri, Tim Wolf, announced earlier today that he will step down by January 1st. This is following protests by students and football players. Complaints of racism on campus pushed the students to demand Wolf's resignation. Graduate student Jonathan L. Butler went on a hunger strike to bring awareness. The football players announced they would not practice until Butler resumed eating. Now that Wolf has stepped down, the team will resume football activities by tomorrow. Butler tweeted, "More change is to come, #the struggle continues."
And in New York, Ithaca College students are also rallying for their president's resignation. Frustrations with Ithaca College President Tom Ronchin have increased due to a lack of attention to radical tensions. After various incidents, the student government unanimously voted in favor of no confidence in Ronchin. All students received an email for an open vote on November 4th. After 13, on this day, results will be announced and further action will follow.
After a few hours of deliberation, a jury convicted the driver of the 2014 South by Southwest crash of capital murder. Rashad Owens drove a car through a barricaded street of people during the famous Austin Music Festival last year, causing 4 deaths and injuring 20 others. Owens will spend life in prison without parole. Families and surviving victims were allowed to take the stand and speak to Owens after the verdict was given. Many became emotional as they remembered loved ones. Owens was not given a chance to speak, but his attorney said he was very remorseful and wrote a letter of apology.
Moscow canceled all flights to Egypt after a Russian jet crashed into Sinai on October 31st, killing all 244 people on board. The United Kingdom has halted all flights to and from the Sharm el-Sheikh resort, where the crashed jet took off. Both nations continue to transport tourists out of Egypt to ensure their safety. While there is no final conclusion as to what caused the plane crash, there is growing consensus among American intelligence officials that the jet was brought down by a bomb. If a bomb did destroy the plane, Putin's military operations in Syria may face further public opposition because it has produced retaliation. Women seeking asylum in the U.S. started a hunger strike in late October and are demanding to be released from an immigration detention center in Taylor, Texas. Sandy Marin has more on how some Austin community members rallied in front of the center in support of women's pleas with music and chants.
Speech can be powerful, but when you're detained, starving could be much more louder.
But they're on hunger strike because they want people to know that some of the women have been kept here 10 months, 11 months. I once visited a woman from Honduras who had been here for a year and a half.
Here in the Huddle Detention Center, dozens of people have gathered to show their solidarity and support for the more than 27 women who have started a hunger strike.
We're trying to be as loud as we can because we have heard that if we're loud enough outside, they can't hear us even through the walls inside. So we're here just to show them people are thinking about you.
The walls bearing outside chants are these same walls that one participant was behind for 4 months. Being detained even one night is terrible. It's frustrating, traumatic, because people are being separated from their families. They are fleeing their country for a reason. These are men and women fleeing persecution from their countries. A woman who frequently visits women in detention centers said they share stories with her and wishes to remain anonymous in fear of losing access to the centers.
I met with another woman who had been kidnapped by her coyote when she was 16 and put in sexual slavery for 12 years. And she had finally escaped, and she became the woman that I visited with.
But this hunger strike is larger than just facilities in Texas. In the last month, 4 detention facilities have gone on hunger strikes. Sandy Marin, KVR News.
A Travis County District judge is recovering after being shot in the driveway of her home. Judge Julie Cook was pulling up to her home with her son when the suspect ambushed the driver's side and fired several shots. Kukirk was reportedly admitted into ICU for University Medical Center Brackenridge. She is currently in stable condition. Meanwhile, police are searching for the suspect and interviewing witnesses for more information.
Texas lawmakers have decided to keep the Texas Racing Commission in business until the end of February. The state's ongoing standoff began when the commission dodged approval from the Texas budget writers on the implementation of historical racing machines earlier this year. Governor Abbott appointed 3 new members to the Racing Commission on Friday. The Legislative Budget Board announced the continued funding just minutes after. Tracks in Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston will begin thoroughbred live racing mid-February.
UT Chancellor Bill McRaven announced that all women and minority candidates for high-level positions within the UT system would be required to undergo an interview process. It is not required that a woman or minority be hired for the position, only that they would strongly be considered. McRaven says that this new requirement will lead to a more accurate reflection of the diversity found within the UT system student population. 62% of faculty identify as white, whereas only 32% of students are white. McRaven says the large disparity will balance out once the interview practice is implemented. Changes are coming to the drag.
And see what the Austin community is doing to better the environment.
You're watching KVR News.
5 years.
UT System Chancellor Bill McRaven announced plans to grow the UT presence in the largest city of Texas. The system's Board of Regents authorized McRaven to purchase a 300-acre plot of land in southwest Houston, where a new campus will be built. While it is unlikely that the Houston location will become the UT System's 10th full-size university, McRaven said, quote, "All options are on the table." And a string of rock-throwing incidents occurring on Interstate I-35 is causing major harm to people and vehicles. Police are investigating over 30 occurrences within the past few months that have left one man brain damaged. APD stated in a press release that they are taking the issue seriously and are continuing their effort to catch whoever is committing this crime.
Noodles & Company states that they will be closing 16 restaurants before the end of 2015. Those locations are in Austin area, including the one on Guadalupe Street. The restaurant states that these underperforming locations will temporarily shut down in order to focus on brand awareness initiatives. The chain plans to focus on online ordering, delivery, and new marketing campaign.
Movements to promote environmentalism are not only found in green energy innovation, but the fields of landscaping and agriculture. Our Ashley Sau explains how these two fields can help to promote sustainability within the environment.
UT's Urban Forestry Department cares for more than 5,000 trees on campus. On Friday, the department planted 3 new fruit trees at the university's orchard on 24th and San Jacinto to celebrate Texas Arbor Day. As a member of Tree Campus USA, the department fulfills 5 requirements, including the Arbor Day ceremony, to promote and educate individuals about healthy, sustainable community forests.
I think trees are a great investment, both for the environment and for your wallet, because for very little money and for very little care, essentially, you can have decades of benefit. We're actually with the new medical school. We've got, right as we speak, furniture is being built from trees that were removed from that site and being brought back into those buildings.
UT also has student-run organizations devoted to promoting a healthy environment, one of which is the Concho Community Garden.
The garden was created in 2011 through the Green Fee. Volunteers maintain 42 individually owned plots as well as a number of community areas. The garden grows everything from eggplants to herbs. Unlike conventional agriculture, the garden does not use chemical inputs like pesticides and herbicides that harm the ecosystem. To reduce waste, volunteers are encouraged to use compost instead of fertilizer and water from rain barrels instead of the hose.
If people don't learn about growing their own food, they don't learn about the importance of protecting the earth and serving as stewards on this planet, then honestly, we're not going to have a future as a society if we don't remind ourselves that Mother Nature, in the end, she always wins. And
Ashley Tall, KVR News.
Society has gotten
Hole in the Wall is a big name on the drag. Luana Solis tells us how the owner is looking ahead now that the fight is over. The lease is behind them.
In September, the bar's owner, Will Tanner, wasn't sure what would happen to his iconic business. The 41-year-old live music venue's lease was coming to an end, and negotiations for future years seemed to be stalled.
Well, my lease ran out, it runs out at the end of the year. I'd been here for 8 years, and it just came time to renegotiate. We had a little trouble coming to terms, but with some help from some real estate people, we finally did.
Established in 1974, this live music stable has remained the Austin go-to club for generations of beginner bands. Tanner and his landlord came to an agreement just last week. Regulars at Hole in the Wall are excited about the 5-year lease renewal.
It's been one of my favorite venues. Whenever I want to meet a friend or anything, I just come here. It's the best place to really have a private conversation without the noise of 6th Street or any other bar there is.
Hole in the Wall is one of many local businesses that have been impacted by the increase in rent in Central Austin. In fact, their partner Eastside King will not continue their lease once January rolls around.
We're talking to a bunch of different folks right now, and we'll probably get another partner back there, and I think it'll be great. You know, it's a great place to do business.
Tanner hopes that his bar will continue to connect people to music and to each other.
Hole in the Wall is one of those places that still, to me, matters. It's very true to itself.
Luana Solis, KVR News.
Well, this weekend brought cool temperatures, but will they last?
Our Katie Keenan is live in the Weather Center. Tell us, Katie, will this cool weather last?
Thunderstorms this weekend. This and more coming up on KVR News.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News tip line, 475-8181.
Welcome back to KVR News. This past weekend, we finally got to see the temperatures cool down a bit, so don't put away your scarf and sweater just yet, because we could be seeing some brisk weather throughout the week. Tuesday will be mostly cloudy with a low of 68, and Wednesday's weather looks pretty windy, with wind speeds reaching 13 miles per hour. Make sure to watch out for thunderstorms Wednesday morning. The rain will let up on Thursday with partly cloudy skies and a high of 71. The clouds will roll back in on Friday and Saturday, and temperatures will slightly drop into the 60s with lows in the high 40s. Saturday and Sunday, there is a 60% chance of rain, and it looks like temperatures will remain in the low 60s, so make sure to stay dry and use an umbrella. Live from the Weather Center, I'm Katie Keenan.
Thanks, Katie.
College Press Box's Chelsea Moreno will be in the studio to talk Longhorn sports after the break. Stay tuned.
College Press Box, Chelsea Moreno. Despite the losing on the road against Iowa State last weekend, the Longhorns football team bounced back and defeated the Kansas Jayhawks 59-20. Let's head to DKR for the highlights. So this past chilly Saturday night, the Longhorns get fired up to take on the Kansas City Jayhawks in their home stadium. Texas is up in the first quarter 10-0, and quarterback Ryan Willis is intercepted by Dylan Haynes running all the way to the 4th-yard line, resulting in a Texas possession. Swoops in as quarterback rushes over right to the right tackle for a touchdown. Great effort by Swoops. This is a lead for Texas, 17-0. Kansas hands the ball off, and it's lost by Kansas. Fumbles recovered by the Jayhawks' Shaquem Barbell, resulting in a touchdown for Kansas. At the beginning of the second quarter, Kansas hands the ball off, and it's lost again, recovered by 84 Ben Johnson. And a beautiful Deontay Foreman rushes for 93 yards all the way to the end zone. This is the 3rd longest run in Texas history. This results in a lead for Texas, 31-14. In the 4th quarter, Texas has possession of the ball. Kurt Johnson fumbles, but another recovery by Tyrone Swoops. His 4th touchdown of the night, and resulting in a win, 59-20. And this past Friday, the Texas men's basketball kicked off the season with an exhibition game against Tarleton State. College Press Box's very own
the start of the Smart era. Friday night's dominating victory over Tarleton State was new Texas basketball coach Shaka Smart's first preview at the aggression and havoc he hopes will take Texas back to title contention.
It's good just to get out here and play on our home floor. You know, just again, it's a dress rehearsal for us. Obviously, with the new coaching staff, we're just trying to teach our guys the way we want to play and the mindset that we want to play with.
As a coach, I always have the mentality of us being aggressive, so I just want to go out there and attack.
Coach Smart's a great coach. He's going to find a way he's going to find a way for everyone to play. He's going to do what he has to do to get everyone on the court. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He'll do his job.
Friday night's exhibition matchup against Tarleton State may have been Texas fans' first chance to get a look at new head coach Shaka Smart, but 3 freshmen stole the show. Kerwin Roach, Eric Davis, and Tevin Mack all finished in double-digit points, and the reins appear to be loose on them heading into the regular season.
Those guys have been really good in practice now. They're freshmen. They've got a long way to go, particularly on the defensive end. They've got so much to learn. They've been 3 of our better players, particularly offensively, for the last 5 weeks, you know, since practice started.
Coach Smart really believes in us. He tells us just go out there and play the game like you know how to play. Don't be timid, don't do nothing like that. So we just go out there and ball out.
Coach Smart just lets us play, lets us be free. He doesn't put any restrictions on our game, so I think that also helps with our confidence.
The Longhorns tip off the regular season in China this Friday against Washington. Reese Miller, College Press Box.
So the men's basketball team will begin a new era under head coach Smart and will be going on the road to play Washington in Shanghai, China. So what are the expectations for this Texas team?
Well, as you know, we're under this new Shaka Smart era, so the team is very fired up. They seem to have a great sense of unity, so I'm really excited to see what they have planned for this season.
All right, well, thanks, Chelsea. And now our Cortland Cole has our entertainment news. What's going on in Hollywood, Cortland?
Thanks, Vivi. Trump takes SNL, Miley licks a piano for a cause, and what to expect from the annual Victoria's Secret fashion show. More to come right here on KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. Saturday night brought laughs and protests to 30 Rock as SNL held presidential candidate Donald Trump. Trump hosted the show this week amidst widespread protest. A political group known as DeportRacism.com offered $5,000 to anyone who audibly called Trump a racist during his monologue. Well-known comedian Larry David, donning a Bernie Sanders persona, decided to follow through with the group's offer. Other Latino interest groups demonstrated outside of the SNL studio, but according to audience members, the politically charged environment didn't affect the show. According to USA Today, the Trump-hosted episode brought the show its highest ratings in 3 years. Linda Perry welcomed Miley Cyrus on stage at the LGBT Center's Vanguard Awards Gala in LA. Perry wanted help auctioning off a piano for charity. To increase bidding, Cyrus licked the piano, which later sold for $50,000. She has helped the LGBT community through her foundation, The Happy Hippie. Cyrus's foundation promotes prevention and awareness for the homeless youth. Cyrus expresses the importance of equality in supporting this community. Gigi Hadid, Lily Aldridge, and Adriana Lima are a few of the 44 stars of the 2015 Victoria's Secret fashion show. The models were chosen this week after auditioning for the producers. The only angel missing? Jordan Dunn. Dunn walked the show for the past 3 years and took to Twitter to let out her frustrations, saying the show was BS and that she's glad she's not in it now that Rihanna has pulled out. Replacing Dunn is Kendall Jenner, who didn't attend the auditions. You can catch the Victoria's Secret fashion show on December 8th. That's all for your entertainment news. Follow us on Twitter for updates at KVR News ENT.
All right, thanks, Cortland, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Viviana Castañeda.
And I'm Connor Barrick. For news and weather updates throughout the week, you can follow us at Twitter at KVR News.
Stay tuned for college press boxes coming up next on Texas Student Television. Have a great night.